Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Topics with Mr. Javadi. The reason why I have that name is because I taught school for a long time. And so I thought it would be an appropriate name for my channel. And it's been a blessing to be doing this program. And today we're joined by a wonderful man, just a great industry. We're talking about the topic of classic cars, and we have with us Ken Dussman. Am I right on that, Ken?
It is correct.
And so, Ken, go right ahead and introduce yourself with the title and all the rest. Go ahead.
So, Payman, thank you very much for having me on today. I really appreciate us having this time and all our conversations leading up to this. My name is Ken Dussman. I am the Director of Marketing for Gateway Classic Cars. Gateway Classic Cars is the world's largest classic car sales company, and we have been in business for coming up close on 27 years. We
Wow.
now Yeah, we have 20 locations around the country. And right now, we've got about 3,400 vehicles in our inventory.
Ken, I was looking at your inventory on the web, and
Mhm.
it is just mind-boggling. I mean, it is so wonderful. Those cars are just so beautiful, and you have so many fantastic choices. It's amazing. Uh, just talk a little bit about that choice and about that beauty. That's the classic cars.
So each one of our showrooms, works within their market. We work on a consignment business model.
Mm.
So we provide the safe and secure opportunity for people who are looking to sell their classic cars. They can bring their vehicles to us to showcase in our showroom, and then we also market and advertise to a global audience. Uh, now, if you say classic car, everybody has an image that pops into their mind.
Right.
Uh, we are kind of the conglomerate of what pops into everybody's mind. We have, I think, the oldest vehicle on our website is from 1903. It's an old Ford Pi wagon, and but we have Model A's and Model T's all the way up, through the 20s, the 30s, the hot rod T buckets, some of the more elegant for their time sedans from the 30s and 40s into the
Wow.
50s. Then we start getting into that mid to late 50s with the Bel Airs and the Thunderbirds and all of the vehicles that came out of that era, which then transitioned into some of the style and manufacturing improvements and changes with some of the more powerful muscle cars. Things you might be more inclined to think as a classic, such as a Chevelle or a Mustang or a Corvette. Everything in there, and we continue up. Right now, the rough rule for what is considered a classic car is about 20 years.
Hmm.
So even the vehicles from the 80s, the 90s, and now even a couple of the early 2000s years are technically classics. Now, it may not necessarily be what somebody would think of when they say classics, but mathematically, that shows how the culture has evolved over the years of the automobile era.
Uh, Ken, do you guys have stores in other countries, or is it just mostly in the U.S.?
So right now, our showrooms are all in the domestic U.S.
U.S.
Uh,
Okay.
our 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 owner has a very aggressive expansion plan, and he would like to see some global expansion.
Uh,
A lot of it is timing and doing the research to find the best markets that we would be able to connect with the classic car culture.
I'm Iranian American. I don't lie about it. I've always said that to everybody. It's been fine. But I'm Iranian American. I remember when I was growing up in Iran, it was during the Shah's time. we had the Rambler, that I think you may be familiar with. Um,
Mhm.
but it was just a beautiful car. So when you talk about those images come to my mind about these classic cars, like the Citroen and some of the others that keep, the Mercedes, some of the older ones. My dad
Sure.
had a,
The,
my, yeah, my dad
the
had
old
a few of them. Go
Saabs.
ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
what were you saying?
Saabs. There are plenty of European classics that are part of our classic car culture here as well, for sure.
Uh, so when it comes to your collection, and that's wonderful, by the way, about your global plan. But I just love that right here in the U.S. of A. you have just about every state, more or less, uh,
So
has one of
right
your stores. Yeah, go ahead.
right now we're in
Yeah.
15 states.
15
We
states.
do have 3 in the state of Texas. We have 3 in the state of Florida. We go as far west as Las Vegas and Scottsdale, and then as far east as Philadelphia, Charlotte, North Carolina, and then down to Orlando, Tampa, and the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
You bet. Yeah, and I know you have a showroom in Denver. Am I right?
That is correct.
Yeah, yeah. Which I hope to visit one of these days.
Yes,
do a
sir.
do a second show on that, because I just would love to be there and to look at them. Um, but anyway, the other question that I have for you. So it's great that globally you're thinking about doing all this. Um, but in your collection, in your company collection,
Mhm.
is it mostly American classic cars, or do you also have some European and Japanese, or how do you go about that?
So again, our vehicles are on consignment. So they come
Uh,
to us from vehicle owners in each one of our markets.
I see. I see.
The answer to your question is yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, we have lots of American, but we have a very solid representation for uh, European classics.
Mm-hmm.
We'll occasionally get some right-hand drive vehicles that come through, but
Wow.
that comes out of what's in each one of our market areas. So using the Denver showroom as an example, all the vehicles that are in that showroom typically will come from maybe like a 50 to 100-mile radius of the showroom,
Right.
and people will bring the classics down to us, and then we'll find a buyer for them wherever they are in the world.
That's amazing. Now, of course, the web has really changed the whole world.
Absolutely.
One of my former students used to call it the interweb. So,
Mhm.
the web has really changed the whole world. And so, you are dealing internationally. It looks like. What countries are gravitating towards these classic car collections mostly?
So considering the 12-year calendar,
Mm-hmm.
here's an example. Um, so we have our season here in the US, which is usually late winter, depending upon where you live, kind of that March into April. And remember, we've got showrooms in the southern US and the northern US. And then, it'll usually run through, and after Labor Day, as things start cooling down, uh, the northern showrooms and areas may have earlier winter weather. So car shows don't tend to happen as often. But when we start getting into that October, November, and even early December, it is summer in Australia.
I see. Yeah.
It is cooler in Dubai.
Yeah.
So we kind of see a shift of where our buyers are coming from based upon their local seasonality.
I see. I see. So it's season related.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Uh,
wouldn't expect somebody to be buying, uh, you know, classic cars in significant numbers from Australia during our June or July, because that's their deep winter.
yeah. Yeah. Right. So then, just in general, though, it sounds like the Arabian countries, maybe Germany, perhaps Australia, they seem like they're interested in the collections that you guys have.
Australia, New Zealand, Dubai, UAE, France, Germany, Switzerland. I mean, really, there's no limit. The only continent we have not shipped to is Antarctica. And
Okay.
as soon as penguins can figure out how to drive a stick shift, I'm sure we'll be selling vehicles there too.
I'm sure you'll be there. Yeah, no, that's just fascinating. Very fascinating. So, Ken, it's a fascinating industry to begin with, and I'll get into that
Yes,
just in a little bit. But what you're doing is especially fascinating. But just tell us a little bit about what got you started with vehicles and cars. How did that happen?
so with for me personally, it's a very common uh, tale or situation, and we see that play out every day here,
Mm-hmm.
just with the generational shift. I remember what my grandparents had. I remember, the vehicles that my mom and dad had as a kid when
Mm-hmm.
I was a and I remember my dad talking about the Bel Airs and the Thunderbirds and those vehicles from the 50s and early 60s when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a cultural handoff and pass down as far as the connection, the love, and truly admiration.
Yeah.
Uh, I really, as much as I did enjoy the classics, my personal ride is a 1980 Mercedes 450 SL convertible,
Mm-hmm.
and but it
Great
wasn't.
choice.
Yep, I got that from my father before he passed away, but until I started working for Gateway Classic Cars, and I started back in early 2019. I really never got as deeply immersed in the holistic classic car culture.
Mm-hmm.
It it is a culture. It has all of the passion, all of the connection. And what we see nowadays are uh, grandfathers bringing their grandkids to our showrooms and talking about their cars, and fathers bringing their sons and daughters
Right.
down to the showroom, and so very similar kind of connections and emotional dynamic when I was a kid. That's still being carried on today, generation by generation.
So, as you were growing up, did you, work on cars or have mechanical interests or not really?
So I did some. My
Uh,
sister and my father restored a 68 Mustang.
I see.
And my sister and I are 4 years apart in age. And so after college, I went, kind of on one path. And so she got to do a lot of that stuff with my dad on the Mustang that I wasn't very hands on
Hmm.
from. But uh, it was a pride and joy for both of them. Absolutely.
Yeah, you bet. So it sounds a lot like the family really just loved cars, and especially the classic
Absolutely.
cars. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, no, that's tremendous. So tell me a little bit about you were mentioning the cultural aspect. Tell me a little bit about that, because we know with for example, motorcycles, they go to Sturgis, and so uh what's the equivalent of that with the classics? I guess you have car shows, but why don't you just elaborate on that?
I don't know if I think Sturgis stands alone in its
Okay.
in its prominence.
In the
However,
cycle. Yeah.
for the motorcycle, it's
Yeah.
it's it's like the mecca.
Yeah.
Every area of this country has a subset of their own classic car culture. There are a few massive shows around the country, that attract visitors from all over the country. The Woodward Dream Cruise up in Detroit, which is every August. That is one, I think it draws up to 1 million visitors at least
Wow.
every year.
Yeah.
And there's so many shows that I probably couldn't even rattle, a fraction of them
Yeah.
off.
Because there's
But
just so many of them. Yeah.
our team members and we will go out and we'll actually be involved with and be part of these shows. And it could range from a more of a local maybe a fundraiser car show that has 100 cars to a bigger car show that may have 800 or 1,000 cars, and
Hmm.
just tens of thousands of spectators that come out to wander through, remember when, think back about their experiences and their emotional connections with them. And every weekend in every one of our markets, especially during, like I said, that late February into March, all the way through till end of October, uh, every weekend there's car shows going on.
Yeah.
Big,
I
big and
Yeah, I remember my wife and I were in New Mexico. We like to go down there whenever we can for vacation, etc. And we were in Santa Fe, and they had in Santa Fe they had a classic car show. I remember that it was filled with lots of choices and beautiful designs and colors, and I mean it was just very eye catching.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and the size and scope varies from show to show.
Okay. And you include, information like that on your website, or is that something that people just have to search themselves? Like if they're
So
interested
at
in
this
going
point,
to,
right
yeah.
at this point right now, we don't have an area event calendar for each one of our markets. We've
Okay.
got additional development going on, and that's something that we've wanted to include. But if you just go out and you search car shows Denver 2025, you're going to get thousands of responses. But
Right.
one of the cool things I really love about the car culture, the classic car culture, is about embracing and showing off your ride,
Mm-hmm.
but really showing off and displaying the love and the passion for the culture as it is to everybody who wants to come by and visit. People are very proud of being part of this culture. And it's amazing to see all ages, all demographics. Everybody has a connection with some classic car or cars in their past or in their in their present. And
Mm-hmm.
people just together. These shows are big celebrations about the culture.
Well, and I think you and I briefly talked about this way back when we were starting to talk about this interview to set it up, etc. And I think you mentioned something about celebrities having interest in these classic cars and movies, perhaps. Is there any truth to any of that, or or
Oh,
am I
oh,
just yeah,
yeah. I mean, celebrities,
yeah,
they have, nobody really is immune from the love and connection from
yeah,
the classic cars. There's always a connection. We have had some very high profile people find
yeah,
the right ride for us, and that's
yeah,
actually a very important point that I wanted to share. So if somebody is coming to our website to look for a classic car,
yeah.
the majority of the time they already know what year, what make, what model, what color, what engine, because they've really loved this particular car since as long as they can remember, and maybe now they're in a position to be able to afford and enjoy it. So 70 to 80% of all of our showroom sales are out of market.
Mm.
Now you're in Denver.
Yeah.
Now you could go down to our showroom located right there in Englewood, Colorado,
Right.
And if you were looking for a specific Camaro, we may or may not have it in Denver. But
Okay.
that's where our size and our scale really come in, because if you go to gatewayclassiccars.com, one of our other showrooms has the right vehicle for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we work with out of state, out of country buyers all the time. It's 70 to 80% of what we do. Because unlike going to a new car dealership where you're walking onto the lot and you're going to pick, one of the 4 or 5 that they have there on the lot, you want that car and you want it in red. You may not you want a manual transmission in red. Going with an automatic transmission in blue, that's really not, you would prefer to wait.
Yeah.
And we offer so many options, so many different varieties of vehicles that one of our showrooms is bound to have it.
Yeah.
And
It really. Yeah. Go ahead.
if we don't have it, we add 70 to 100 vehicles each week to our inventory.
Say that again.
We add 70 to 100 vehicles each week into our inventory.
My goodness, that's just amazing.
Yes, sir.
That is just amazing. So, and then, talk about numbers and amazing facts. Your website gets a lot of viewers, doesn't it?
Oh, we get millions and millions of hits every month.
How does that happen? Millions and millions every month. That is just
So,
unbelievable. Yeah.
so this speaks to a couple things. First, I will be the first to admit I am not selling millions and millions of cars.
Right.
So if you remember where I was talking about the emotional connection, that looking for the right car, and
Right.
then just the general love for the culture,
Yeah.
our website is a great home for people who just love to really look and embrace and see, how things were, modifications that may have been done to some of the vehicles, you know, a virtual trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
So people know that if they come to Gateway Classic Cars, if they are looking to buy a classic car, we're going to have what they are looking for. If they are just fans and passionately part of the classic car culture, and they want to, have the imagery and, all of those connections, we're the place to go.
So, Ken, I think it's fair to say at this point that it's a major industry.
It is.
That
It
is
is.
really that's a major industry. And images, movies come to mind, like I know Diamonds of Forever, Sean Connery had a Mach 1
Mhm.
in that movie. And of course, we've seen, I think, a Rolls Royce and Goldfinger. And so,
You
lots.
can't forget Steve McQueen.
No, he had the 68 Mustang, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Rockford Files,
Mhm.
James Garner, that was what was that? That was a Trans Am, wasn't it? Or
It was a Firebird Esprit.
Firebird Street. Yeah. Yeah. So you remember these images, and I mean, they're just with you. And like you're saying, you can just make the connection.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about the mechanical end of things. They are, from what I understand, they're fairly durable. And they were built well, so I think they're fairly durable. But anyway, go ahead.
In comparison to the vehicles that are produced today, they are built with far less complicated computer-driven, sensor-driven, integrations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can lift up the hood on a 68 Camaro and you can see where everything is. And if something needs to be, replaced or adjusted, you can pretty well reach in and you can swap out an alternator, or you can have hands on.
Right.
The newer engines are so complicated, and they are much more intelligent. But just the build, you can hear it and you can feel it when you shut the door. My 1980 Mercedes, when I open that door, I give it a little nudge to open it up. When I close it,
Yeah.
I'm giving it a little bit more of a push than I normally would for a more modern car
Hmm.
because it is solid metal.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
the
true. Yeah.
the
Go ahead.
durability is there. I mean, obviously, for these cars to have survived, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years and more, and still be roadworthy and, out and about in the community today, that speaks to their durability. And we
And
do.
yeah. Good.
And we have a variety of buyers because here's a good example. Uh, we have like a 57 Bel Air that comes in. It is had maybe one or two owners. It's been garage kept. It is absolutely stock. And we have a large buyer pool for that type of 57 Bel Air. On the other end, we may have a 57 Bel Air that it wasn't as well loved, and
Mm.
someone acquired it for a project car, and they spent a year or two and a lot of blood, sweat, tears, passion, uh, restoring and bringing that back to life.
Hmm.
And even from there, there's a split. Many people restore them back to what they were stock, but we have a lot of those restoration people who add maybe some little bit more modern amenities, whether it's maybe a digital dash or upgraded amenities within the car itself. Air
Hmm.
conditioning, power brakes, and power steering does not exist on every car out there.
Is it a fair amount of them, or a fair number of them, to use correct grammar, fair number of them that use the modification on the body with paint and design and things like that, at a body shop, or uh, are there a lot of them that are still just original, color and design?
The answer to your question is yes.
So both.
Both.
Yeah.
Yes, both.
Yeah, and really, that's kind of a gift in a way, because it's helped another industry develop,
Mhm.
based on what this is. Because I know a lot of people like designing on the body of the car, and they do amazing work. So huge industry,
Absolutely.
huge industry, exciting industry. Well, Ken, I just want to kind of lead us into the closing here, and I know you're gonna walk us through the showroom and show some cars in a little
Yes,
bit.
sir.
But what would be, I designed this channel largely because I want to communicate with the kids, and those that are about to graduate, those that are wondering about what jobs they want to have, what careers they want to have, where they want to go to school, that type of stuff. What would be your advice to young people? Say there's a senior in high school or junior in high school who's thinking about this, who's looking at your website, etc. What would be your advice to them about how to prepare to come into this industry?
So there is always a need and a demand
Hmm.
for quality automotive technicians. Under that, typically, in my experience, they may start on some of the more uh, older type of vehicles where they're working on rebuilding an engine, and they'll graduate and learn into the more modern electronics, and at every point in between. But just being able to basically get your hands in and whether it's fixing something, restoring something, uh,
Hmm.
you know, breathing life back into something, those are all strong and in demand.
Yeah.
Uh, you'll see, hiring for automotive techs all over the place. And, you know, I know we have a few automotive mechanical schools around here in our community outside of St. Louis, and you know they're very interested in our cars because they're hands on. They can
Mm.
really feel the raw power and all of the engineering that had to be invented and designed back in the day without modern technologies. And so, really, in the automotive tech sector, for all years, all makes, all models, there is high demand, and it's a very high reward too.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And then what about the marketing end of it, which is where you're involved in now? What would be your advice to them?
So on the automotive marketing side, part of it is easy because I know that there's such a love for seeing what we do.
Hmm.
Where we get into a little bit more of the strategic marketing is making sure that if I know you're looking for a red manual transmission Camaro, that I'm showing you the right vehicles that we have. So there's a lot of complexity in just keeping the elevation of our website and our company. Again, we are the world's largest classic car sales company. When you come visit our site, you're going to be overwhelmed with the amount of options that we have with vehicles. And yes, we add lots of cars every week.
Oh, that's
So
yeah.
yeah, so I spend a lot of effort marketing the new vehicles that have just hit our website because that's what catches people's eyes. They may have been here last week or visited a couple times earlier in the month, and I want to let them know that we got another 124 cars that just hit the website. Come back and check them out. Let's find the right one for you.
That's great. That's very hopeful. That's very positive. It's a great industry. And just for the viewers, I also want to say this, that my experience with you guys has just been tremendous. Very helpful staff, very answering questions type
Yes,
staff. And so on the public relations end, you guys are amazing, and I think folks can count on that if they call you and or send you an email or something. Uh,
sure.
you're you're very good about answering their questions. So what
Always
about
have to happy to. Marketing at gatewayclassiccars.com. You can send any questions you have over there. I can kind of simplify a little bit about what gets me so excited about marketing and doing what I do. Every
Mhm.
vehicle that comes into our showroom has a story.
Yeah,
It's my job to tell the story.
you bet. That's I'll quote that.
You may.
That's beautiful. With your blessing, of course. That's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your generosity. I know you're very busy. So I'm gonna let you do what you want to do next with the showroom, as you want to do that. So thank you very
All
much.
right. Well, in payment, I really appreciate the time. So this is going to probably be a little bit of a clunky video camera on the fly thing. So bear with me. Let me grab some hardware here, and we're going to go out and walk on my showroom floor.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. You're still
Sounds
there?
sounds exciting. Yeah, that looks like the laptop I have.
Yep. So I need to make sure I got my camera up front so I can see what we're doing.
Yeah.
There we are. All right. So I'm walking out of the office that we met in here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our showroom.
Wow,
We have a,
wow, wow.
we have a very large lounge area here. We have a number
Yeah.
of car clubs that like to have their monthly meetings or fundraisers here.
Man, the beauty of these products, it just never ends, does it? It's,
No,
I mean, the creativity, the craftsmanship, unbelievable.
And, and we have all different types. Over here, we've got our Mustangs.
Yeah.
Got our Camaros. We were talking about automotive, mechanical and technical. Check out the
Yeah.
engines on these.
Yeah. Yeah. The work that went into these, and what they came up with. No wonder they've lasted this long.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, and down here we've got some our Corvettes and GTOs, and
Yeah.
we were talking about European. I'm going to
Yeah.
have to cut through a couple of MGs here.
Oh, okay. Outstanding.
All right. So
Outstanding.
we've got a number of MGs here. Here's the Mercedes we talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ever popular Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, wow. Wow.
We had a few
Yeah.
Jaguars here, but those have already found new homes.
Yeah.
So as you can see by that empty space, we had a Jaguar there 2 days ago, and it's now shipping off to its new home. So we'll be adding additional vehicles there.
Yeah.
Jeeps and Broncos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm only about halfway through my showroom here. Here's the T-Bucket, that
Oh,
kind of
wow.
genre.
Wow. Wow.
But pan over here, you can see where these, the green and silver one here, these have been restored, upgraded, really, really beautiful work. But when we get over here, these are original.
Yeah. Yeah.
These have survived.
I mean, that's news right there. To a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
ears. To a lot of ears.
Yeah, this is a 1933.
Yeah. Oh,
Have a little
just
issue with the camera.
just no, it's just outstanding, the collection you have, and my goodness, the room you have. How big of a room is this, Ken? Can you tell
Oh,
us?
yeah, this building here is about 120,000 square feet.
Well, so you have plenty of room for plenty of vehicles.
Oh, yeah, I think we have 187 on the floor right now.
Yeah.
We've got a number of vehicles behind the wall here that we're finishing up the photos and videos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not all old classics.
Mm-hmm.
We have some, crossovers where it gets into the realm of the sport and stylish, which is still very much part of the overall culture.
Yeah.
This Corvette is not 20 years old, but it
Okay.
is, the newer cars, the more modern muscle, they are still embraced and loved
Yeah.
by, as part of they're more instant classics, if you will.
Yeah. You bet.
Look at this engine here. You need to change the spark plug, you need to change an alternator, or you can just reach right in and do it.
Wonderful.
And then we've got, here's the last couple. We're just kind of coming around full circle. This beautiful AC Cobra. And here's a Thunderbird where somebody put the upgrades and modifications to it. This is clearly not a stock Thunderbird. It's even got a roll cage in there because this one here is set to go fast.
Well, I can't thank you enough for number one, the interview, and number two, taking your time to just do this. It shows great dedication on your behalf to do what you're doing. And we're very thankful that you're in this industry. So thank you
It's
very
my
much, Ken.
pleasure, Payman. To everybody watching, check out gatewayclassiccars.com. You'll see a lot of what I was talking about, the passion, the customization, the preservation of history and our automotive era. And Payman, I thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you.
And let me just end by saying that it's a culture that's open to everybody, men, women, everybody. So,
Absolutely.
you all don't feel shy about it. Just if you want to be in this industry, go for it. Well, thank you very much.
That's my advice.
Yeah,
Thanks, Payman.
you bet. Bye bye.